Logic is the study of reasoning. Our goal in this chapter is to examine arguments to determine their validity and soundness. In this section, we'll look at propositions and logical connectors that are the building blocks of arguments. We'll also use truth tables to help us examine complex statements. Let's begin with some definitions. Logic is the study of reasoning. A proposition is a complete sentence that is either true or false. So the big thing with propositions that we need to know, something is a proposition if it's a complete sentence, so it cannot be a phrase, and it's either a true statement or a false statement. Opinions can be propositions, but questions or phrases cannot. So let's look at some examples. Which of the following are propositions? I want to earn an A in this class. This is a proposition. This is a full sentence that can be either true or false. Hopefully for all of you guys, it's true. How much longer until we get there? This is not a proposition, and that's because it's a question. And as we said earlier, questions cannot be propositions. My dog. This is also not a proposition because this is a phrase. It's not a full sentence. Oregon is the best state to live in. This is a proposition. It can be either true or false. It is an opinion, but it can be proven as either true or false to each individual person. So this first section is a lot of vocabulary, as you can tell. So we're going to do a lot the first couple sections, and then it'll get a lot smoother with why are we learning all of these words. So now we're going to move on to arguments. So what an argument is it's made up of one or more propositions, and you're sometimes going to be seeing these, well, most of the time, as they'll be called premises, along with a conclusion. And one way to change your proposition is to use its negation or opposite meaning. So before we get into arguments, let's talk about this negation. So oftentimes you're going to use the word not to negate a statement. So some examples. Portland is in Oregon. So if I had to write the negation of that proposition, it would be Portland is not in Oregon, which we know is a false statement, but that is the negation. July is not a month. The opposite of saying July is not a month is saying July is a month. If I can spell. All right. Make sure we've got periods there for full sentences. So hopefully you can see here, like in example A, this proposition is a true statement. Portland is in Oregon. So when we negated it, it ended up giving us a false statement. Portland is not in Oregon, which is a false statement. As in B, if the proposition is true, if the proposition is false, July is not a month, then the negation, July is a month, is a true statement.